Hi, everyone. Welcome. You are in for such a beautiful treat today. If this is your first time listening to the Luxe Leap, welcome. We interview incredible consultants, coaches, women who are making big moves in their businesses and how they took Luxe Leaps in order to be successful in their careers and in their entrepreneurial journey. The person I have today is absolutely phenomenal, and you are in for a treat. But before I go into introducing her, I have to ask you a question. Have you ever felt like your hard work should speak for itself, yet you're still being overlooked? Well, guess what? You're not alone. In a world that rewards visibility, too many high achievers hesitate to talk about their success and afraid of seeming like they're too much. And Lisa Bragg, our guest, is here to change that. She helps leaders and businesses gain the recognition they deserve so they can turn visibility into new opportunities. She's the author of Bragging Rights: How to Talk About Your Work Using Purposeful Self-Promotion. It's a game-changing book that's helping professionals and organizations amplify their influence and their own success. As a speaker, advisor, and former journalist, Lisa has spent her career showing people how to get noticed, valued, and rewarded without feeling awkward or inauthentic. So get ready, because Lisa is about to transform how you see success. Please welcome the expert in recognition and influence, Ms. Lisa Bragg. Hi, Lisa.
Welcome. I love that. That was great. Thank you. Can I just carry you around everywhere I go? Because that was just a tremendous, we always need somebody else. And so often we write a lot of this ourselves. So when somebody else says it, it's like, just, wow, that sounds good. Let me write your bio for you. Thank you. Lovely to be here.
Oh my gosh, you're incredible. I'm really jazzed to have you here. And I always kick it off with this question when business owners pop into the show, and everybody loves it, but we want to know, what inspired you to start this brand? Give us a brief Reader's Digest version of your company's story. And my personal favorite is the introduction of your book, but however you want to say it.
Yeah, it's been a journey. Life is a journey, and that's the whole thing. So I keep pivoting in different ways. And so bragging rights, well, my last name is Bragg, so let's just get that out right away. With a last name like Bragg, it seems destined that I would write a book called Bragging Rights. But there's red threads to our whole lives that when we have a moment of reflection, we can look back and say, aha, I was meant to do this work. And so the book came about because so often in my journalism days, I'd go up to awesome people and say, hey, I think you'd be great in my story. May I interview you? And so often it'd be like, oh, no, not me. I'm not ready, or I don't have that degree, or go down the hall to Bob, who's done it before. And it's like, no, I want to interview you. And so often when somebody would let me interview them, I get to see them go off and do a panel. Then they did more media. Then they'd get a promotion. Then they were somewhere else. And then they'd be seen as a subject matter expert time and time again. And then I owned a media company. And this is a long time ago now. It's back when YouTube was brand new. And so I was putting people online through video for the first time. And, often it was within corporations, and it'd be their subject matter experts. And the leader in charge would say, Lisa, I can see what's happening to so-and-so's career now that they're on social media and they're doing all these things. You put them in the videos. How can I do that for me? And so it kept lingering. How can we help people be seen and be heard? But the challenge is, and the answer is often, get on social media. And I know that's where you help a lot of, but there's something before that we need to unpack. And that's where I come in, is that we really need to, we need to be seen and be heard, but there's so many things that are holding us back from being seen and heard. And that's what I talk about regularly and talk about in the book. And happy to share some thoughts today with you on that. So that's my origin story.
That like background, I actually love that you said that, like, Ray, you help with that. And funny story on my end, I actually started as a social media company and I hated it. And I agree with you. There's something that people have to overcome. And I would say I'm almost in the middle of social media and you. It's like, go hang out with Lisa first, then come see Raylan to do your brand, because brand's like foundational work of like, how are we going to get it out there? And then let's do your social media. And so many people want to start with the end first. And it's like, that's cute, but it's going to be really hard. And it's going to create some of this imposter syndrome, some of these things that make you afraid to brag, because when you start, things are embarrassing and they should be. You learn from it. So,
why people want to do that though? I'm just going to let you know. It's because they want to get to the tactics. We
Yep.
don't want to spend the time on the heavy work, like the reflection piece or the thinking part of how to strategize and how to
Very.
really think long term or where we've come from. We want to get to the tactics because then it's like, I can check something off my list. I posted on this today. I posted on that today. But you haven't done the work to really send that direction. And that's the challenge for so many people. And that's why so many people give up. They
Mhm.
don't have that consistency. And I have a consistency problem too. But like it's hard to keep going sometimes. But when you have a plan and a strategy, then you can take a break, and then you can come back to it and say, okay, I'm back on track. I'm back I'm back to going forward again. I'm in on the train and I'm going to do it. And that's what we need to do. So all about strategy. Tactics come later, my friend, later.
They do. They come so much later. And thank you for saying that, because I feel like we don't say it enough. And we only really, the people we see a lot are the people who worked really hard to get there. And sometimes we forget about that. It's not instant fame. They put in effort and time, and to your point, consistency to make that happen and to create the level of impact that they're creating. And um it's just a beautiful thing. So, question. As we look at that, and as you start to learn those things, as you created that content company back, was it before YouTube was owned by Google?
It was it was 2007. I left a career in media, saw the writing on the wall and said, you know what, there's something to this new world and how can I be a part of it? And I was somebody, when I was in journalism, I had to do it all. I had to interview people, that I had to, I could do the camera work, I could do the interviews, I could do, or I was sometimes just a reporter, I was an anchor, I could do all these things. And I didn't realize in the moment, like it was like, oh my goodness, I'm doing all these things. But afterwards, I'm like, I have a skill set to do all these things, which was part of this new era that we're in, that everyone's doing now. But when I was starting it, it was still exceptional, different tech, skills that not everyone had, video editing skills, which now everyone does. But it was amazing to be able to transfer that. But it was taking time to say, what can I possibly do that would be a little bit different than everyone else? So thinking about what makes me remarkable. So that's when the era was. So just 2007
Oh
feels
my
like
gosh, I love
lifetime
it.
ago.
And now everything's video. You know what I mean?
Everything.
Like everything's video now. Let's be real. In 2007, we didn't even have Instagram.
Right.
We barely had Facebook. And we still had MySpace top eights. I remember, because I was definitely coding my pages, and to date myself, I was definitely in high school, and it was a thing to know who your top eight was. Always created some kind of drama. It was a real life. But like those little moments, to have all those skills and be an early adopter is really important. But curious, what was a pivotal moment in your brand's journey that really defined where you were today? Was it during that time, or was it further along?
Um, that's a great question. I think part of it is having the last name Bragg was really part of my brand journey. And that when I was younger, people would roll their eyes or say, are you going to brag about it? So they would say that to me. And I'd be like, what? Like, I was somebody who put my head down, did great work, and was hoping people would notice. So then I'd get something else would happen, or I'd get, the good mark in school or an opportunity. And so when I was really young, I realized my last name meant something to other people and that success bothered other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to avoid being, seen and heard, but I wanted to be a journalist, which is weird. But back in my day, it wasn't about the journalist. It was really about the story. And so that's where, and the audience, what the audience needed. And so I was hiding in plain sight at that era. So, but I really think that a lot of my journey started when I was young, which is, I think, very unique. And then it happened again when when I wanted to really pivot and decided to start this content company. I actually I was one of my last stories in TV news. I didn't know it was going to be one of my last stories, but I ran into Justin Bieber. And this was when he was still trying to figure it out. He was brand new on YouTube. And I was doing a story in politics. And so he was there with a bunch of friends in his hometown of Stratford. And of course, the story didn't fit what he would be able to speak to. And he just wanted to be on camera. But instead, he sang to me. And I wish I wish I'd recorded. I wish I'd done all these things. But he sang to me and he told me about what he was going to do. And that he was going to go to somewhere and I can't remember if it was LA or Tennessee or something like that, to to talk about getting his music produced. And I went back to the TV station and I said, forget this politics story. We need to do a story on this teenager. And they looked at me and shame, shade. Like, it was so bad how they made me feel for saying we need to do a YouTube story. These people were the old guards of
Mhm.
media, and they couldn't see the future was happening right in front of their eyes and already there. They poo-pooed me. And I felt like, you know what? If this young person is doing something where he's being seen and heard by the world and getting these opportunities, there's something to that. So that was a big change in where I wanted to go and how I started driving this new pivot.
Oh my gosh. I think that's just really incredible. Like, that's a jaw-dropping story. First and foremost, I had like 10 thoughts just go through my brain in this moment in time. But like, to think that the kickoff of Justin Bieber, who, let's be real, he was a baby then and then like knocked it out of the park with the song Baby, was like a catalyst to say, no, I'm doing this. Like, I'm doing this because y'all simply don't get it. And to be an early adopter for something that is the #2 search engine in the world. Let's be honest. If we don't find the answer on Google, we YouTube it. We have so many tutorials, how-tos. This is going to be on YouTube. All right. Like, it is so powerful to, as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur, to look and say, I can see the future clear as day. I have to make a change now, whether you're not going to make a change or not. And that takes courage. That takes a lot of power. And I really applaud you for doing that, because that
Oh.
had to have been scary in the moment.
It was. But let me tell you about a mistake, though, that I didn't make that I do regret now. So I was starting to help people way long ago get on YouTube and get on all
Mhm.
these things. But you know what I didn't do?
What?
I didn't take care of myself.
That's fair.
I didn't work on the brand of Lisa Bragg as I was helping all these other people to do it. And so then I was also helping my media company to be seen and be heard.
Mhm.
I was out there talking about it all the time, but I wasn't doing things that helped my own personal, or what I call professional brand. I was tied to the title of my media company. So I was the CEO of that, but I wasn't out there really as
Mhm.
myself. And so that's a bit of the challenge where I really regret, because, you know, you see people like, where would I be now if I had done that? But you know what? The best day to start is today on doing all these things. But again, with a strategy and a plan. But it's
Please.
just, I wish I had done some more, because then I think I would have reached more heads, hearts, and the whole thing. So, but you know what? It's just keeping your word out there so that you are found on this crazy thing called the internet.
You know, it's funny. I know you share feelings of regret. I'm actually kind of grateful that you didn't. And
Thank
the reason I'm grateful that you didn't is I don't know that we would have this book. Like, I'm really glad it's even in hand grabbing. I don't know that we would have this book if you didn't have those stories to tell. Like, the learning that was a thing, because so many women, I work with so many women. I feel like we all find something to hide ourselves behind, whether it is a title, like you said, like, I'm the CEO, I am this, I am that. And we always say, I am these things. Very rarely do we say, I am Lisa, I am Rayland, I am a mom. Like, even hiding behind the title of mom. Like, we always constantly say, I am all these things, but never, I am me. And to have that story, to even be able to share that and tell people, I wish I would have. Um, where could I be? I mean, I also firmly believe we're right where we need to be. And I'm the queen of like consistently hiding. So
you.
let's
Some
own
of the
it. But
best people are hidden gems. Yeah.
so I love that. So thank you. I really appreciate you even sharing that.
Thank you.
Um, so let's look to the future. You have some cool things in the pipeline, and I'm excited to talk about them. But what are your long-term goals for expanding your brand's impact?
There's so many things I want to do. I have so much intellectual property. I have so much IP. I come up with ideas all the time of tools, frameworks, all these things that could really help other people along the way on their journey. So when I have a hiccup, it's like something I write about. But my challenge is really getting it out there and doing more things with it. So I think that's a little bit of the things that I'm working on, is how to keep in action and in flow with it. I love writing. I love appearing on video, but it's just getting it out to the world. So that's part of it. And how all these struggles that I have helps the people that work with me to understand that it's all fresh. It's not something, well, I learned one and done. I'm not this, massive influencer who's that you can never attain that. I think a lot of people can't attain some of these influencer metrics, and that's not what I teach and what I talk about at all. But it's just that people think, and they have this perception that we have to do those things. So I think keeping it real and authentic is really, really important to me as I keep growing in my journey. I keep going. So my business has always been based on B2B, business to business. I've worked with a lot of big brands, a lot of companies, a lot of governments, and financial services. And so for the first time, I'm going to try to open something up that's to the public. So I did some test things early on when I was writing the book to make sure the things really, really stuck. But now I'm going to open up and see, like, okay, how does an individual want to work with me one-to-one, not one-to-one, but in this group workshop setting? So I think it's going to be fun. See, I think you hear me trying to like think some of it through, but it's like exciting to try a different thing and still have my clients and my corporate work, but trying something new that's a little bit of a stretch. And it's like, oh, okay, are people going to come? Like, when you start to make something new, and it's just having the faith that people will come as you stretch. So that's where I'm going with things. So I'm not just being a B2B brand with my work, but making sure that I'm open to more opportunities, that I can serve more people besides the books. The book is open to everyone, of course, the audiobook, the print, or the ebook, but it's a challenge to serve people when you haven't really thought about it. So I'm getting that plate going. I think of things as plates, each project. And can I get a new plate going and spinning? So then I have this plate spinning. And it's like, okay, I can do all these plates without having anything drop, or without it being exhausting, because I don't want it to be exhausting. I have a teenager in the house, and I want to make sure that I'm there for her and can do all the things. So it's making sure that there's a good life flow going on. There's no balance, there's a flow. So that's what I'm excited
Always
about.
a flow. It's up, it's down. Sometimes it's just around.
And sometimes it's around.
It's in circles, and it's fine. It's called life. So it is. I love that. And I think going one to many, especially moving outside of B2B, and B2B is great. I mean, I do B2B. But one to many, just the lives you're going to touch, the impact of sharing your knowledge and teaching others how to brag. And now I bet you every kid who said that to you is eating their socks. So there's that. But like the ability to learn how to brag, I think that was one of the things that really excited me about having you here. Is I spent all last year, like, the idea of even talking about what makes me intelligent, being smart, was very, very difficult for me to do. I spent an entire lifetime, I kid you not, this is not an exaggeration, an entire lifetime of people just really telling me, even as a little girl, you only get things because you're pretty, and never because I'm intelligent or one of the world's best strategists, and I'm going to hold that title till the end of time. Like none of those reasons. It was always like, yeah, but like if I looked like you, and let's be honest, it might open some doors, but it's not going to get me all the way. That's what's in between these beautiful ears of mine. So to like read your book, to understand that it is okay for me to not hide behind things and take ownership for the greatness that I've done, like, that was very powerful. And I know I needed to hear that message. And I know so many other folks, women and some men, but we're here for the ladies. It's your impact is going to explode, Lisa. And I'm really excited to help get that message out for you, as well as see what comes of it and what it's going to do for your daughter. It's just going to be incredible.
Oh, you know what? I think if we can get more people seen and heard, and it's that hidden gem that if frustrates me to no end when I hear all these amazing people who are the hidden gems, who are the people who are doing so many great things, but somebody else steals their credit, or they diminish, or other people diminish them. Like that bothers me. So there's things in the book that talk about how we need to really own our own successes and to brag about them. And then there's ways that leaders, if you're already good at it, then how you can help your team to be good at it, and how you can help individuals. Like, it's not just a me, me, me story. It's really, how can we help each other along the way? I think the challenge is, like, brag is such a heavy word for people. So I looked at, because my last name is Bragg, I looked at, what does it really mean? Like, where did it come from? And so in like 1325, it meant shine, shimmer, and bravery. It didn't mean boastful or the negativity that we have with it now. And I love that. And it really, like, shine, shimmer, bravery, because when we brag, which is talking about one's success with pride, like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, we should talk about it, because the challenge is pride, that word too. But pride also means justified self-love. So that justified self-love, that's when we can give ourselves that pat on the back and say, you know what? Hey, world, this is how I'm of service. And so that those reframes are in the book, but that's what I talk about. Like, how do we reframe it so you're of service? And if I can say, hey, this is how I'm of service, that's a great thing for the world, instead of them going to the mediocre person down the hall or on the next webpage.
Can we have a chat about, no, we're not going to give mediocre Joe in the cubicle 3 doors down credit at all, but he exists. Sorry, everybody named Joe, but you made a good metaphor. So like, it's a feeling, and it's a feeling that we don't enjoy. I think of so many women that I know, so many consultants who, they work their butts off. A girlfriend of mine actually told me the story once. She was like, yeah, a company I'm working with, this other consultant, he was a gentleman, he came, listened to them, and he wrote all of his thoughts on a yellow legal pad paper, gave it to them, and charged $40K. I can't even conceptualize charging somebody $40K without giving my whole heart and soul. And then she came in, did way more work for less. And she's like, every time I think about it, I'm like, just how? Like, just how? Like, if I just said, okay, here you go, Lisa, it's $50K. Here's my strategy for you. It's on a sticky note. Like, would you frame the sticky note? I don't know. I don't get it. And so that ability to really start to own that power to shine, shimmer, like, have the bravery and self-love. I think we all had a little bit more self-love. If we bragged a little bit more, we might fix the mental health crisis to a certain extent, but we all need to be gentler on ourselves and really give ourselves a round of applause for what we accomplish. And I think you do a great job of speaking to that.
Oh, thank you. There's so many things to unpack with that, though. It is having some more audacity. And I struggle sometimes with owning my worth and knowing about it. And I reach out to other people to ask and to say, like, what's the going rate? Because we don't realize the genius within. And I'm not talking, that we're all brilliant, but I'm saying we don't realize what's inside. It's that whole thing. We don't see the label on the wine bottle because we are the wine. And so we don't know that we bring the genius. And so often we just diminish that. And we're also so good at self-deprecation. Oh, well, I won't charge them the $40,000 like he did because I didn't do this right. I didn't add this and I didn't do that. And we take it away, take it away, take it away. Or we don't come in as the 10 that we are. He doesn't even care about coming in as a 10. He just charges $40,000. But it's knowing your value, sticking with it, and also finding those right fit clients. It really does matter to have all those things. And then saying, well, it's not for you then. Yeah, it's not for you. If you're not going to pay, it's not for you, and owning that. So there's always lessons and reminders that we have to do with it, with reminding ourselves of our value, but it's something we struggle with. But when you can stand in your success and you've made a brag book, so things that you collected along the way of all your successes, then you can point to those successes and say, yes, I am meant to be here and I am meant to charge whatever it is that I want to charge for that little sticky paper. That's all. That's the end of the story. And then you keep going forward. I think it's just having that fortitude to say, yeah, I'm worth it.
I'm worth it. And that is so powerful. Question, like, total question, like, almost bringing us back to future planning. And now getting my strategy brain in, you had your moment of like thinking through things through. Now I'm thinking way too much about the things we could do to amplify your one to many. But how are you considering your marketing strategy to adapt to support this brand growth as you still maintain B2B, but then bring this forward?
Yeah. So one thing I'm going to undertake, which I have never done before, is I have so many great friends in the world, professional friends who I've met. I've either been part of their communities or I've spoken to their communities. It's been a real benefit that have lots of friends who have lots of people who they know will need my work. So I'm going to use, for the first time, I'm going to use referral partnerships. So I'm
Amazing.
going to ask people like you. I don't know, we haven't never talked about this, so I'm not putting you on the spot, but
No, no,
I'm
you
going
can
to
put me
ask
on the spot.
people who have people that, even if it's just one person that you think would be perfect for my workshop, I'm going to send out, here's what the workshop is. I'm going to send out all the collateral, if they agree, all the collateral, and I'm going to give them a hefty cut of it. And I'm not, and so when I was thinking about it, I'm like, am I undervaluing what I offer because I'm giving somebody else a cut? But marketing, when you're starting out, I think is the hardest part, is to reaching the many. And so you have to put that investment into things. So I'm offering people who are going to help me an incentive to do so. And so I was floating around, what number is it? And it's pretty high, because I know that if somebody else is invested in my success, then I'm going to be even more successful. So that's the strategy with that.
I think it's actually one of the smartest strategies people can use. You really don't know who you know. And sometimes I think we find comfort in reaching out to strangers. I think because if somebody knocks down your idea, it's scary and it hurts. And there's a lot of feelings that are associated with that. But sometimes it's the people around you who are your biggest supporters, who can get you close to your first champagne clientele. That is a lot of ways that I word it. I actually have a freebie that is all about, like, if you had to go out tomorrow to go get your first champagne client, I tell them you need to make a list of 25 people and you need to reach out to them and connect with them and share what you're doing and see who they know. And that sometimes is the most powerful thing you can do.
Yeah. And that's the strategy. So who do you know? I'm not asking them specifically, hey, join my class, but a lot of them still need it. But I'm saying, who do you know? Who do you know? And then if they join, then they get that referral. But that's a beautiful way of saying, is like, here's 25 people, and 25 is manageable. What I always used to worry about is people would make these long lists for me of like, here's 100 people that you should reach out to, or 100 organizations in my corporate work that you should reach out to. It's like, no, you know what? Let's keep it manageable. Let's say 25, 10 people even. Like, let's start with smaller numbers so we actually do the do, because otherwise we just like to make lists. I made a list today, but we don't actually go through that next sales process
Yeah.
and ask for the work. So that's where I'm going with it, which is totally different. And then I'm going to also do more social media to the individual, which I haven't been. My book is not, surprisingly, not actually a social media book. I do advocate getting on LinkedIn and whatever platform you're actually going to do, but it's not about that. But I am going to do more social media. I go in my ebbs and flows with it. Sometimes I'm like way on it. I'm doing lots of things on social media, and then it's like, oh, I'm not doing anything. So I am my book. I have to constantly remind myself to get out there and self promote, because hey, no one's going to find me on my tiny piece of the internet, unfortunately. So I have to be out there talking about my success, because I am the CEO of my life.
You are. You are. And what's funny is, like, okay, it feels like I post a lot, and that would be a fair thing to say if somebody is listening to me right now. But I will tell you right now, I actually weirdly do not love it. I do not love it. And so I had to build a system around it. I built an extraordinary authority system. You will not see that anywhere on the internet. Is the last thing that you would ever do with me if you work with me. But part of building that I found was, like, if I create 52 weeks of really strong evergreen content, I can keep promoting that. And I actually never intentionally use my social to sell. I always look at it as, if you, Lisa, let's say tomorrow you're like, I met this really great woman. Her name's Ray. She does brand. I think you should talk to her. I want to ensure that at being a really good friend, I have places that you can point to. And I always use my social as a place of, like, This is thought leadership. This is places where if you were to refer me tomorrow, somebody could look at it and be like, yeah, you're right. She is a good person. She is the type of person I want to work with. And instead of feeling like being on that metaphorical hamster wheel, because it can be exhausting at times. Like there's times I just want to be in sweatpants. Leave me alone.
It's so true, but that's where you're at the stage where you have your flywheel going a little bit, but people can easily say, and it could be further along, but people can easily say, we know what she stands for, and they can talk about you and be that brand ambassador. And that's what makes it so easy, that if we can get some of the early stages going, know where we're going and what we want to say, then someone else can come along and do some of the heavy lifting for us. They can say, you should hire Ray, you should hire Lisa, you can do all these things. And they'll be the advocates for you. And they might not even know you. I have people who advocate for me who I've never even met. Now, thankfully, they've read the book or they've heard of me on a podcast, but they're out there advocating for me. And that's like just me cloning myself over and over and over again. To be, and it's amazing once you get to that stage. And the other thing is the opportunities that come to you when you have people talking about you. You don't even know that these opportunities exist, but you've made it easy for other people to talk about you. And that's the critical thing that we all need to do. Make it easy for someone else. Have those things ready to send so you don't even have to sweat it and think, oh my goodness, I have to put this package together for them. Have it ready to go. Give it to them.
Make it easy for people to cheer you on. Like it's, as a cheer coach, you sit through a lot of games. Okay. You sit through a lot of games. As a cheerleader, you stand through a lot of games. And the games that are the easiest to cheer for are the ones where the team is winning. And the ones that are hard to cheer for are when they're really, really losing. So like if you can become the winning team, it doesn't mean that your bank account is like booming yet, but if you can make it easy for people to cheer you on, to brag about you, to use the word, like it makes it so much more impactful. And honestly, the idea of being on social media every single day, day in and day out, like it's great for influencers. They make money from it. For your average human, like y'all, you need a break. You need to enjoy your life.
Yeah. And it's not about social media all the time. There's so many more strategic ways to do it. But if you can do it, have a plan that it's out there and done, then do it. And evergreen is the way, because then people will be able to find you. And then you're not constantly making something up that day. It gets exhausting. And so none of us have the time, unless, like you said, unless you're an influencer and that is your goal. But I also think that the land of influencers, it's saturated. And I just think the world has changed so much in the last little while that the runway for influencer as a career goal is going to go way down really fast. So I just think that there's just too many people and there's not enough to go around with that. So I don't know, might be controversial to say that, but I think that you have to show more ROI in the business sense than just showing up.
Just showing up. And I think that, call me an old lady. I really don't care. You think about kids like myself who we grew up in the 90s. We grew up in a life without internet, but then we also had internet as kids. Like we are a really odd breed of human in today's society. And we also had to really sit and learn. We had to, in many ways, be like you, Lisa, where it's like, I had to learn how to do all these things so I could put that intelligence out there. And that importance is starting to lose itself as I'm raising a child who is 8, where it's like, well, I just want to be on YouTube, Mom. And it's like, yeah, but I need you to be really strong at something. I need you to find your genius zone. And it's odd to have a conversation with an 8-year-old about your genius zone. But it happens, to really make the impact and the splash that you want to make in that. And like, I know that myself and Lisa, we've both said this about 100 times. It's not all about social media. It is about the strategy. It is about the strategy. And if social media complements that strategy, cool. If it doesn't, and it's more important to be, let's say, at markets, at, I don't know why I'm saying markets and festivals. Like we're consultants. We're very rarely at those places.
Conferences. Maybe it's a conference with a festival in it. That's fun.
Got more, way cooler. If we're at those places, like that might be the stronger strategy. Like we have to think about what is long-term, and 99.9% of the time, you even get into those places because of the people that you know. So like really lean into your network, really lean in.
Really lean into it now more than ever. We have to really show we're humans helping humans and lean into the people that you know. And I always talk about let's move it from networks to connections to relationships. So we all network, we're all on these things, doing these things, but it's only when you start to actually have true connections and then bring it into relationships. That's when if you make a mistake and you fall down, they're going to say, okay, you know what? We know Ray's not normal, or Lisa's not normally like that. We're
Yeah.
going to give her a pass. Or we know that Ray is always stellar at this. We're going to point everyone in the direction to her. Like that's what we're looking for. And again, to make it less work for you all the time. It's not about busy work, which I feel like people think networking is speed networking. It's like, no, let's not do that. Let's
Deep
take a
breath.
breath and get to know each other a little bit more on a deeper level. And it might mean some coffee chats, which I know a lot of people are time stretched, but that doesn't have to be for a whole hour, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Get to know someone on a deeper level so that when you need somebody, they're top of mind, and be that person that's willing to be top of mind through any way that really feels comfortable with you. It's about doing it. It's just like working out.
Yeah, you
You
gotta do
have to
it.
find that thing and keep with it. It's the consistency part, which again, I do struggle with, but I'm aware. I'm
You
aware.
I think that's really fair. Like, workout is a great analogy. I hate running. I shouldn't run because of my hips. Like, it's not really something I should be doing. But I love Pilates. I love dance. And so I will show up to those things because I enjoy showing up to those things. Um, I could look outside, the sky is blue. I'm not running. I can have all the intention in the world, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It won't happen. So that's really, really important. And it's okay to take a break. You don't have to
It's
be like
okay. Just
hyper.
come back. Just
Yeah.
come back. That's okay. It's okay that you haven't posted or you haven't done whatever in whatever amount of time. Frankly, people aren't going to even notice that
They won't.
they'll be like, oh, you post all the time, or you're just there again. Nobody is paying that much attention. Sorry. It's
No.
so bad to say
Both
that,
of us.
but they're not. And that's the thing. Just come back and just keep trying to be having more and more consistency. And, like you people think, oh, you're always on social media, on social media, doing the things. But you know what? I pull things that are old, I put them back up again because it's evergreen,
Irrelevant.
and I'm commenting on other people's things. So if I'm doing social media that way, I go in really quickly, enjoy what I enjoy, and then I'm off to doing all the rest of the things that are needed
Thanks.
to run a really successful business nowadays, and learning so much as I go and meeting so many great friends. So it's a joy to be in this industry.
It's how you treat it. It's literally how you treat it.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, I have two last questions for you. And I
Okay.
asked these two questions of everybody, and you have no idea what they are yet. So that's a fun fact for you. But the first question I have for you is, what does a luxurious day of life look like for you?
Okay. I
Let's sleep.
have this beautiful 95 pound dog, and it looks like we are going for a really long walk. She doesn't like long walks, so that's why that's already a challenge, but it's beautiful out. And I go for a walk with her. Then I come back and I talk to some of my amazing clients who right away are in. So my corporate clients, they're in, they want me to come and do a workshop, or they want me to come and speak. And so I quickly make sure that I can get to where they are in the world, because I can work across North America. So that's a lot of fun for me. And I make sure that I can go there. And then I have a nice lunch. And then I'm planning my next workshop that's going to have something really cool that's B2C. I love working. And so that is an ideal day. And then, then I'll have dinner with my family, and then maybe we go for a nice swim or a walk or something like that. Like, that is beautiful to me. It's luxurious. It doesn't, some people says that sounds like work, but
You
it's
get
that
to.
flow of the day, I think, is something that's really pretty without a lot of heavy lifting. That's where I don't want to be in the hamster wheel. I want to serve my clients and enjoy what I do. I think some people probably say to you, it means not working at all. And that's not a reality for me. I think no matter what, I have to have some sort of life of intention and purpose. So that would be a day in the life of. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I think for me, like, it sounds like it's the luxury of choice, the choice to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful thing.
Freedom. Freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Like, somebody cue the Beyonce song now, like, real loud and proud. Last one, best one. How would, in one word, what is your primary motivation in business?
Oh, goodness. My one word primary motivation in business. Uh, one word. So I'm coming up with like to be seen. And then I'm like to make money. It's like, I don't know how you do one word because it's like, you know what? We have to put content out there. We have to serve our audiences, and we have to make profit. Like we have to make money.
Yeah.
So to not to say, oh, it's just like so I can help everyone in the world. It's like that's really beautiful, but I need to make money. I don't come from a huge thing in the back end. I am the money generator. I have to do the money part. So I have to say profit. I have to say profitability. You know, we can do all these great things if our cup is full. If our cup is full, we can give to others. But if our cup is empty, then that's where the problems start. So profitability is, I guess, the word. See how we had to work through that there? But
It's
profitability.
Okay. Sometimes you have to. Like, sometimes you have to. And like, let's be honest, it's true. If you have money, you can give money.
Yeah.
It's and you can do it without stress.
Exactly.
I mean, I think more of us should be okay with saying I love money.
I love money. I love what money can do for us and all the components of money. So it's wealth. It's having that wealth, having wealth. I guess that's the thing. A bigger word is to say, I do this for wealth because it's wealth of friendship, wealth of community, wealth of money, wealth of freedom, wealth, like that's the wealth of choice. Like, so it's wealth could be that big word, but to do it for wealth is the thing. And then making sure that we're crystal clear on what wealth is and how to get there. So it's that, again, it's strategy is what is that word? And then the strategy to get there.
Yeah.
Then we build the plan and then we have the tactics. So that's the thing to make it all so much easier so we can have more wealth in whatever way we all define it. And it's about success.
Oh my gosh. You have been just so incredible. So incredible. I could talk for hours literally with you and never get tired. So thank you so much. If you are all listening, thank you for being here with us, for spending just even an iota of your time with us, whether you're in the car, making dinner, whatever that looks like for you. I really wish you a lot of success. I know you had to have stopped what you were doing to take lots of notes. It was incredible. If you haven't yet, and because I'm going to do it one more time, go grab Bragging Rights. It's seriously an incredible book. I loved it. Look at the two of us together. Hold on. Now I can't screenshot with one hand. I will pull it later. It's fine. That's what technology is for. Anywho, everyone, if you're watching us, awesome. If you're listening to us, even better. We're really grateful to have you. And please go grab Bragging Rights. Lisa, seriously, like hands down, absolutely incredible. I really appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you. And I'm going to be cheering you on. Thank you so much.
Of course. All right, everyone. We'll talk soon. Bye.